from my understanding, there is a banquet going on.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much. After you and the rest of the party came into town and survived your confrontation with the rest of the generals, Lily that night is deciding to have a banquet. As we move into the banquet, you're going to have some time in here in the
hmm
banquet.
Beforehand, I
Sure.
want to go to the rooms that are provided, definitely bathe, clean myself, and try to put on my fanciest wear, which is just the extra travel clothes that I wear less.
Damn. And it really works for you. You do look stunning. This shade of black nuns wear is a deeper black than the more faded one.
Exactly. Got like a yellow sash around me, around the midriff, matches my eyes.
Yeah, it does. It matches your lizard snake person eyes, and you're kind of killing it actually. Not a lot of people like shaped up beforehand before the banquet, and you're really putting in that extra effort, and it will show.
I'm glad.
Good.
Moving forward, gonna enter the banquet and look around, assess sort of the way that it's organized and where the tables are.
Sure. Give me an idea. When do you walk in? Like, are you going for what kind of entrance? Do you want to come in like a little early, like right on time as everyone's sitting down? Maybe like a little late?
I want to say it's like 10 minutes late, because I had
Ooh.
to get all this prep work, and that way everyone's already arrived, but I'm not too late.
Yeah, they've just said grace.
Exactly.
You saunter in after they're starting to divvy the food. Really, you miss the You didn't really miss much. You came in fashionably late, but still attentive.
I show up fashionably late. I see the spread before me. How many, like, is it Harry Potter? Like, what are we talking here?
There are very much in Harry Potter style. There's like 5 tables, one long, wide one, kind of horizontally, where Lily, the Crown Mother, some bodyguards, and her echelon are, and then you guys have 4 smaller tables presented past that, and there's also some lines of tables for some less important military-related people.
Alright. Am I able to assess it which table I'm seated at?
Yeah, you see your people. You
Alright.
actually arrive last.
So, I arrive last. I sort of scope out the situation. Is this like a buffet, or are there waiters serving us?
It's like serving. They drop like huge plates of meat and shit, like real medieval shit.
Alright.
Not like medieval though, although this is more of a you know the setting, right? Lotus is supposed to be a more of a Asian,
Yeah, like an
Eastern
Asian
kind of vibe.
fusion, sort of Chinese.
Yeah, vaguely Asian dishes are being put in front of you guys.
Any sushi?
There is something vaguely resembling sushi, but who knows what the meat is.
Lee would like to go talk to Lily and get a little more information, see what's up. Except, honestly, has read a textbook for cotillion once and realized that you need to wait for the host to make the rounds because they need to eat as well and do not want to be swamped immediately before they are able to ingest the meal.
Sure. Yes, that makes sense. That is the polite way. But I'm gonna say that you can. Lily's not worried about it. You kind of make eye contact with her as you're looking around the room. She kind of like gestures over.
Oh, if she gestures over, I'm over there immediately.
Yeah, she like does like the whole like hand winding thing. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna... Am I sitting, like, across to her or next to her? Where's this position?
There's like a space for you. She has like a little table. She's had some people scoot down.
Awesome. I'm going to, sit down and sort of, how are you enjoying the meal? What should I start with? I needed to freshen up and was a little late for the announcement or the menu.
She's like, you should really try this, and she says like a dish. I just fear that the implications of what lives or swims around here is going to be used against me at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not ready for that. She gives you like there's like some nondescript sushi-esque looking foodstuffs she shares with you. You guys like have she's like a little singular soy sauce container you guys can both dip out of. It's
Ooh.
very casual. She's like, I'll tell you what, it is good to see you.
Lee definitely blushes and sort of stutters. Yes, it has been too long since our last encounter. I hope everything has been doing well and that you have had successes. I have heard very little on the road.
We win and lose some here, but overall, we have 4 generals now. And while I'll be honest, I would have preferred a giant army. The fact that I'm short that because 4 people somehow neutralized it is almost as interesting.
Lee just sort of shrugs, and it's, well, if we can beat them, we can help you more.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be some sort of fate, right? And you no need to be so formal. We're like friends now.
Lee sort of, almost no one in particular, goes, ah, yes, the fates have drawn us together.
Are you like making eye contact with her when you say this? Or are you just kind of like saying it like ambiently off?
I'm making eye contact, except I'm I'm doing the trick. Instead of looking at her eyes, I'm looking right above them, right above the crux of the nose, so that way it looks like you're making eye contact, but when you're saying things and concentrating, you're not actually staring into them.
Yeah, it's not as nerve-wracking.
Exactly.
No, yeah, but it's going pretty good. She really just is kind of shooting the shit with you. She's like, I get like you're not like the quote-unquote king of bandits, but I don't really see your group as like a monarchy. So, yeah, I think that's fine.
He may have been the king of bandits, but I brought him here for you, so really, who commands the king? Where's this power lie?
Oh, loyalty is very important to me.
Oh, my loyalty has been unwavering, and Lee sort of darts her eyes back and forth, almost to a fault, as I didn't initially grasp the geographical span of your importance when you spend all of your life in essentially one small compound. Not much news of the outside politic ever affect us.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive that somebody who lives so isolated decided to make this trek. For me of all people, right? Why'd you do that? She makes like a laugh. She's joking.
Besides your outstanding charisma, I am here to observe history, and you are making it.
Yeah, I don't really see a need to role play it much further than that. She has a pretty good opinion of you. You did do the job you were asked to do. She's not the kind of person who would hold against like who you brought.
Yeah, she asked for the Bandit King, brought the Bandit King.
Got to roll with the punches. And she, she finishes up the main meal with you, and as she kind of gets up to start greeting people around the party, she kind of leaves you, and you're kind of left there with an awkward exchange with the Queen Mother, and I don't know what you want to do.
The Queen Mother hasn't spoken yet, right?
No.
What's she eating?
She has not eaten.
What's she wearing?
Lily's is kind of like a black and gold kind of dress. Hers is a little bit more muted. It's like a green and a yellow. Like very striking, but kind of like a step back. With long, ornate, done-up hair and like long sleeves and everything. And she's just looking at you.
I want to nod over to her and go, I'm sorry I am not dressed as fashionably as someone of your stature. I only own 2 pairs of clothes right now, as I like to travel light. I try to make myself presentable, though. It seems that not everyone in this court has our same ideals. And sort of chuckle.
Nothing. I'll give you an insight check if you want to make one.
I would love to. 11.
You can't really read it.
I figured I'm just going to chalk this up as weird foreign courtsmanship, because I've read many a history on how sort of the different courts have operated throughout the years from our different books in the library, and they all seem to operate in really different rules, where there's some where you get called to higher-ups by a system of rings, where they're run in between the nobles, and that's how they sort of collaborate or get called to one another, and it's based off the material and the make. It means many different things. So many people have a bowl of different rings that they send to people to show their intention. And I just assume that a mute watcher is probably one of these.
You have a history book, right? You've been
Yes.
studying the history?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a history check as well.
Oh. Yep, not any better. 6.
Yeah, she's pretty icy.
As Lily makes the rounds and I can't seem to crack Mother, who else would I recognize around here?
You see the family's table with their higher-ups surrounded by some other random people. You see the Bald Head Brigade led by the person you know as Bob. And you see Miss Charlotte's table. Those are the 4 in the middle. There's some outside action going on. There's servers, other people from the military. So there's a ragtag group of various creatures from the cellar.
Okay. Are the family generals?
I guess generals of the army, one of them is. Father is.
Okay. And how many are sitting at the table?
There's Father, Ma'a, and Brother.
Okay.
And there's some other people without masks. Just a few.
Mm.
And then there's just a posse of people in masks standing all around the table.
Is it possible to go approach the family table?
You can.
Awesome. I want to approach and give a shallow curtsy to Father, and then do 2 things. I want to reach into my leather accordion bag, rummage around in it Mary Poppins style, and then pull out 3 glass vials that each have a rolled cigarette in them, and hold them up and say, "Do any of you have any interest in sampling a foreign cigarette?"
There's a very icy silence. Ma'a and Brother look like they're about to stand up. They each put a hand on the table. Father says, "I partake."
Lee's a little taken aback from Ma'a and Brother's reaction, but gonna try not to let it seem like that. She's going to hand one to Father, drop the other 2 into her bag, and proceeds to go, "If you enjoy it, please."
Are you going to sit down and partake, by the way?
Are people smoking at this? Is that acceptable?
I mean, you could probably get away with it.
Alright, if I can get away with it. Yeah, I would like to see if I can pull out a chair and...
Oh, a chair? Father says I can make room for you.
That would be lovely. I would love to get to know the other general.
As you say that would be lovely, he turns and stares at Ma'a. Move. Ma'a gets up and leaves.
Just straight up leaves?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Alright.
He points to her spot.
I nod my head, graciously take it, and look at Brother, and I want to sincerely go, "Please tell Ma'a that it was very nice for her to give up her seat for me."
He chuckles at that and just keeps drinking his wine.
Alright, I'm going to pull out my cigarette holder for mine and motion my spare one to Father to see if he would like to use that.
No, he's good.
Okay, I put that back, and I want to use prestidigitation to light mine and then hold out my finger to him.
He actually takes you up on it.
Awesome.
He extends pretty girl style and lights his cigarette on your flame.
I shake my finger out and go, "The communal flame is always a wonderful thing. Back at the monastery, we had more of a central cylinder that everyone would light their cigarettes from."
Mm.
And I motion towards the wine that Brother's drinking. "The alcohol that is most common here very much does not sit well in our system, but we consider Snakesbane to be of a similar recreational activity. It soothes the muscles."
He's like, "Would you like to try my private stock of wine?"
Lee goes, "That's a very gracious offer, but once again, if it has alcohol in it, it comes back up quite quickly. It's not a pretty sight.
A pity. Brother keeps drinking his. Just kind of his eyes are kind of like flicking back pretty amusedly between you and Father.
Alright. She's gonna look at Father and go, I would like to get to know everyone a little bit better, but she sort of holds out a hand. I understand that opening up is not your family's forte. Unless you're opening up someone else.
This elicits no laughs.
Besides Lee, who chuckles a little bit at her own joke and then realizes no one else is laughing and then sort of stops.
The general demeanor from everybody else at the table is either they're about to watch a bar fight or people who are like scared that a bar fight's about to break up or open up.
Okay, alright.
It's like an interest and worry is what everybody's kind of looking down at the table. But like a real ragtag group of fucking weirdos at this table.
Hey, you know what? Lee's gotten far enough where she knows not to care about what the weirdos think. And she's going to briefly give Father a 1 or 2 minute rendition of her history, background, sort of. Lived in a monastery, the only girl, is the scribe, has only been out here for like a couple months, writing things down, mailing books home, just sort of spreading decent word about how not all Yuan-ti are evil and worth hunting, and also collecting more knowledge to send back, so everyone at the monastery is a little more enlightened about the outside world.
He's like a very earnest cause and path.
Yes. Looking around, Lee's going to say, I believe I have taken up enough of your time for tonight. Thank you very much for making room at your table. But I was wondering, would you allow me to speak with you once again? I am very curious as to the goings-on. Please let me know if I am ever too prying.
Of course, come whenever. And remember, there's always space in this family.
Oh, thank you very much. And as she turns to leave, Lee stutter steps for a second and goes, Would you like another cigarette?
Huh. Yeah, he would.
Alright, I reach into the bag, grab the last vial with the pre-rolled cigarette in it, and hand it to him and go, I hope you all have a lovely evening. I think Lee needs some air. It's been talking to a lot of people, she's eaten, it's really crowded. Might be nice to get a little bit more solace.
Yeah, the last exchange at the very least felt like you were just standing in like solid air. You could cut, it's like tension you could cut with a knife. And not that it was that scary because of course Lily's protection would protect you from anything, but it was very tense air. Nobody seemed like they liked each other too much.
I'm gonna say that Lee was able to pick up on sort of the tenseness, but not insightful enough to realize that she was the reason.
Yeah. There's some bad blood there, but the father likes you a little bit more than he did at the beginning of the night.
Lee understands it is a patriarchy up there, where it's the father is the head of the family. So get in good with him, everyone else has to fall in line a little bit.
Sure.
So yeah, Lee's gonna go out and try to go find a courtyard of some sort.
Sure, there is a courtyard, a small garden scene with a flowing river and a small bridge over it.
This seems like a really captivating and calming scene, and Lee's had a bit of a hectic day, so she's going to pull out her painting supplies and start on a landscape, just of the gardens.
Really? Yeah, I mean, there's not too much lighting, but that doesn't matter because you can see in the complete darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me what's your dexterity modifier?
+4.
And what's your wisdom?
+2.
Yeah, give me a roll plus like 3.
Alright. 21.
Yeah, that was a little GURPSy, but we'll get past that. Yeah, you do a beautiful rendition of the garden. You do a beautiful painting of it. Not too much, I guess, goes on because you're trying to avoid interaction right now, right?
I've talked to the two outside people that I feel I wanted to address. I saw Bob. I wasn't a big associate with Bob. That was more Marin's thing. And when I left, it was a little tense. But I assume it took like an hour or so for the painting.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's still you arrived like a little later, maybe like 7:30,
Hmm.
but I imagine it's still like maybe 10 or 11 by the time you finish this painting.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually stick that away and go back inside. I want to see who's left and how the crowd is thinned out.
The crowd is actually now intermingling. They kind of moved away the tables where the four groups were, and there's a maybe like a little dancing kind of going on. Lily's bowed out.
Mm.
It's her party, and she can leave whenever kind of deal. But the different generals, some of the monsters and stuff, some of the not common folk, but people who do more tradesman-y kind of skills who are in the outside party have moved in. There's a lot more intermingling. People are just kind of about the property.
All right. Are there any sort of monster or race that I wouldn't recognize?
That you wouldn't recognize?
Yeah.
Fuck. Let me get a monster manual. There's a bunch you wouldn't recognize, right? You lived your entire life in a monastery before the campaign.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that there might have been a bestiary, but how accurate those are, who knows?
Yeah, and you never know. With evolution, like, I don't know how long it takes, how long these things' lifespans are, but they could be very genetically diverse.
Or how old the books are.
Yep, there you go. Yes, there are races you don't recognize. There are a weird-looking race of mushroom people.
So I know this is a lot of artistry, but the painting is what calms me down, and what I'm about to do, which is try to sketch them and take any notes of their movement. I've transitioned from peaceful art to research art.
Like a scientific sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of take note of their weird multi-holed breathing mouths with no teeth.
Mm.
It's kind of like a smooth surface with small poked holes into it. You take note of their oddly human eyes and the way they stand up on two legs and odd growths from the top of their heads. Some have smoke leading out of small holes in the pores in the back of their body.
Interesting.
Different heights and shapes, but the same general color scheme. They seem like they like know each other. There's a couple of them walking in a group, not really chatting, but they're around enjoying the party.
All right. Lee's gonna go up and try to make a broad wave. She isn't really smiling because she doesn't know how teeth-bearing, how creatures without mouths feel about us showing ours off.
Sure. Kind of as you move close, they kind of also stand from like a distance, like from you, just kind of stare back at you at the same angle you're staring at them.
I am going to introduce myself. Hello, I am Lee. I was just wondering if you would spare a moment to talk about yourselves and your cultures.
They say nothing. They have no reaction to your words.
All right, not taken aback and in stride, I'm going to flip to a new page of my journal, turn it around to face them, and motion and sort of hand them one of my pens to see if I can get them to write something.
They pick up the pen and start. One of them starts kind of like moving it in his hands and looking at it from different angles. He likes it.
No indication of writing anything down.
No.
All right.
Like that.
I'm going to swivel the book back to my view, take out one of my other pens, and write no natural language processing, ability to understand objects around them, but
As you're writing, he also starts to drag the pen across the paper in the same kind of way.
All right. I'll lean on it. So like I'm writing on one page and he's writing on the other, sort of thing. To see if I can get him to copy me and just sort of go more notes about curious creatures seem to be able to mimic movement, not sure of their overall understanding of what they are mimicking.
As you get like halfway through the page, it is like just your writing being copied on the other page.
Like 1-to-1.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Huh. I'm gonna stop for a moment.
He catches up to where you were and then also stops.
I look at him, and I'm gonna take 2 steps back and put my journal back in my case and pull out 3 pieces of scrap paper and hand them to the fungus that was just copying what I was doing, and say, "You might want to play with these and see what comes of it."
Sure. He reaches out from his shoulder. He just breaks off a mushroom from his shoulder and he hands it to you.
I want to look at it and give him a sort of half curtsy bow and go, "Thank you very much for this." And I am going to take out a glass mason jar from my pouch of many things that I spent all my money on just random non-magic things, and put it in one of those jars. So I have a container and a specimen, and store that away in my bag. After that exchange, and the curtsy, I'm going to feel like it's getting pretty late. I think it's time to retire.
Yeah, you're certainly not the first to leave the party. Maybe around a little bit after the stroke of midnight, you head on to bed to your quarters.
Yeah. I had some interesting chats, learned a little bit about hopefully made a mushroom friend. Hopefully I left the party with everyone feeling better about Lee than before.
You get 2 mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, they each gave you one.
Actually, can I try to identify them once I'm back in my room?
Sure. You get 1 shot on each of them from you.
Okay. And that would be investigation or nature?
Nature.
16.
On the first or the second mushroom?
On the first.
Okay. That mushroom is a rapport mushroom. Rapport. It has 3 uses, and it has the same effect as a rapport spores move.
Okay.
In a 20-foot radius. You can use it once in a 20-foot radius. These spores can only go around corners and affect only creatures with 2 intelligence or higher. Affected creatures can communicate telepathically with each other within 30 feet for the next hour. You can use that 3 times, and then it fades away.
Interesting. I'm going to slap a label on that jar and stick it back in, and then try to identify the second fungus.
Sure, go for it.
And that is a 13 plus 1, 14.
I think a 14, I was thinking 15 is usually the bar for these kinds of things.
So what's this?
It's blue. You don't know what it does for now. 14
Okay.
doesn't.
And then blue mushroom.
Yep.
I am going to go to bed and wake up the next day?
Yeah, you have your own quarters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a regular person. You rouse awake the next morning in your beautiful accommodation that Lily has given you. They kind of overlook the rest of the political sector of Lotus, which is what you're in now. Kind of has the head of the guard captain's area, the head of the police, parliament, military barracks, all that kind of stuff. That's what this flower is.
Because it's flowers connected by like a swamp, right?
Yeah, flowers connected by bridges through like a marshy swampland. Not as much marshy as it is like coasty, but it's very marshy, but it's more coasty than marshy. Like Besaid from Final Fantasy X.